So in this video we're going to be building a product launch email. So if you open the example emails folder and then the Apple iPhone image and we zoom in, this is the email that Apple sent for the iPhone 7 launch. Now as you can see, it's a little bit more complex than the previous emails that we've built. We've got colored backgrounds with images and different colors between each section here, and a few more graphics than as I say, the previous emails that we've built. So we're going to have a look in this video at how we build up something like this. So to do that, let's open up our email project and we'll add a new stacks page and we'll call this product launch. Then, as we always do, we will add the style stack to start with, and we need to do the implementation checklist. Now we've done this quite a few times now, so I'm just going to check off the items, but we do, as always, need to set the title and slogan. So we'll just call this product launch, and I'm going to change the folder name to be product launch, and I'm going to override the slogan to be this is a new product, like so. Okay, once we've done that, we can check those items off and we're ready to start building. Now before we add any layout stacks, I'm going to update some of the global styling for this template. So we're going to update the sizing to be 630 pixels, and then we're going to do the advanced settings here. We'll set the margin to be 20 and the column spacing to be 40 and 40. Then what I want to do is update the colors. So the background color is going to be white, and the body background color, or the content background color, is going to be black. Okay, once you've done that, we can add a wrapper stack to the page, and there you'll see we get that black background for the body or the content there. Then we'll want a one column stack inside of there, and then we want a header and some text. Now as we looked at previously, we can set the color scheme for these header and text stacks individually here. So we could set alternate and that would give us the white text, or we can set that on the wrapping column stack here. So we'll set the color scheme to be alternate, and that will set all of the child stacks to use the white text. Next we're going to center align the header and the text there, and then we're going to add a button. That will also be center aligned, and we'll have the radius and we'll leave it as primary. What we will do is update the text to say buy now. Okay, so if we preview this in the browser with Command P, there we can see that we're starting to build up that header area. What we do need is a bit of spacing above the actual wrapping stack here. So the easiest way to do that is to just drop in a spacer stack above, and we can set the height to be 40 pixels. Then when we go back and preview, you'll see we get that spacing at the top there. Okay, next what I want to do is update the spacing or the padding for this heading or the header area here. So we're a bit tight at the top and the sides. So to do that, we'll go back to Rapid Weaver, select the wrapper stack and set the padding to be 40 pixels on the left and the right. Then on the one column stack, we'll also use custom spacing, and we'll set 40 pixels on the top and the bottom. Once we've done that, we want to add the iPhone image below here. So if we look at the preview, you'll see we now have this heading area here with the button. Now we want to add this iPhone image in below. So to do that, we will add another one column stack here, inside of the wrapper, and we will also be using custom spacing, but this time we're going to set all of them to be 0. Then inside of there we're going to use an image, and we can drag and drop in our iPhone image from our assets folder. So if you go to the Apple folder and then the iPhone, we'll drop that in there. Then we need to set the sizing for this image, and that is going to be 630 by 473. And there we can see we get a nice crisp image in there. We're then going to collapse the margin or remove the margin for this image. Let's go back to Safari and preview that. And there you can see we're starting to build up that email. So if we have a look at preview, you can see here, if I just make this a bit smaller, that we've essentially got the same thing. So we have our header text, some text below the button, and the iPhone image. Okay, what we want to do next is add this kind of grid of images with features below. So we need a 4-column grid layout. So back to Rapid Weaver, and below there what we want to do is add another wrapper. So we'll drop that in there. Then we'll add a 4-column stack here. Inside of there we want an image and then a header below that. Now the image I'm going to use here is actually a placeholder image because we don't actually have any icons or anything like that, so I'm just going to put a placeholder in here just for the demonstration in this video. We're then going to set the size to be 50 by 50 and we'll set it to be center aligned. Then for the header here we're going to set this to be H6, and the color scheme, again, we can set that alternate here, but what we're going to want to do is have all the text to be white, so we'll set the color scheme on the 4-column wrapper to be alternate. Then we'll remove the margin from this header. Then I'm going to just duplicate these into the other columns. Then what we need to do is actually set the header to be center aligned. So we'll do that for each one of those now. Okay, let's go back to preview. And there we can see that things aren't quite lining up, and what we also need to do is change the background color of this 4-column layout. So we need some more padding here and we need to change the color. So back to Rapid Weaver, and then on the wrapper stack we're going to have some custom padding. We're going to set the top to be 20, bottom 0, left and right to be 40. Then we're going to update the content background, and the color is going to be 1B, 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 like so. So back to preview, and there we can see things are lining up nicely, and we've got that different or slightly different colored black or dark gray in the background here. Okay, so back to Rapid Weaver, we're going to duplicate this column, and then below there we're going to add our image. So we're going to have a 1-column stack. We're going to have custom spacing and set those to be 0. Then inside of there we're going to have an image, and we're going to drag and drop in from the assets folder, and then Apple, the iPhone's image. So drop that in there and then set the sizing to be 630 pixels wide by 194 high. Then we'll set the alignment to be center. Go back to preview, and there you can see we're starting to build up our email. If we have a look at the preview image, here you can see we essentially have the same thing now. So we've got our header, the text, the button, iPhone, two lines or a grid of 8 icons here, which you can see here, and then our iPhone image below. Okay, so back to Rapid Weaver, and we're going to collapse the margin on that image so that we don't get anything below there. And then below this wrapper we're going to add another wrapper, but before we do that I'm just going to close up a few of these so we've got a bit more space to work with. So on the wrapper stack here I'm just going to hide that and do the same for the second wrapper there, so we can kind of see what we're working on. So we'll add another wrapper into here, and if we have a look at the preview again, you'll see we actually want a white background in this section here. So to do that, we'll select the wrapper, select the content color, and by default it's set to white, so that will work for us. Then what we want is a 2-column layout with an image on the left and some text on the right. Again, I'm going to use a placeholder image for here, and we'll just set this to be, say, well, we'll leave it as 350 by 150 for now. Okay, if we go back to preview again and we scroll down, there we can see we have that white section in below. We want to add some padding though. So again, on the wrapper, we'll add some custom padding, and we'll say top 40 and bottom 40, left 40 and right 40. We'll go and refresh that, and there we can see everything's lining up nicely. If we have a look at preview again, we now need this kind of grey, light grey coloured background with the watches image. So again, we'll go back to Rapid Weaver. We'll close up that wrapper. We'll add another one. Then we'll set a custom content colour. And just for now, we'll select this light grey colour. And then what we want is some text or a header first, then some text. And what we want to do is center align these. And then below there we will want to have an image. So we'll drag and drop in that image. And then what we'll do is we'll open up the assets folder, go to general and drag and drop in the watch image. We'll then need to actually update that. We'll then need to actually update the sizing for this image. Now I can't remember what that is, so I'm going to need to open it up inside of preview. And we'll just inspect the size. So it's 630 by 556. So 630 by 556. And there we have our image. Now what we'll want to do is actually add a one column wrapper stack, which I've forgotten to do. So sorry about that. What we need is a one column wrapper stack inside of here, and then we'll drag and drop these into this one column stack. So now when we go in preview and we scroll down, we can see that we get that light grey coloured background, but we'll want it to match the image here. So we'll probably want to select the colour from the top of this image so that the background of this text kind of blends into the image below. So to do that, we will go back to Rapid Weaver, and on the wrapper stack we're going to actually set the body colour to be the top of this image. Now if we go back and preview and refresh, that's looking a little bit better. We probably need to lighten that up slightly so that it blends in. I'll let you have a play around with that and make sure that the background colour is matching the image there. But that'll do for us for now. What we probably want to do is add a bit of padding to this one column stack. So we'll go back to Rapid Weaver and we will do some custom spacing, and we'll just say 40 pixels on the top and the bottom, or actually 0 on the bottom, sorry, because the image is there. Okay, preview that, make sure it's looking good. Yeah, that's better on the top, but we need some on the sides. So again, back to Rapid Weaver, set 40 pixels on the left and the right. Then refresh. And whoops, sorry, I needed to set the padding on the wrapper stack, not on the one column stack. So again, back to Rapid Weaver. Remove this left and right padding from the one column stack, go to your wrapper stack, add some custom padding and set left and right to be 40. Then when we refresh, we'll see that that now lines up nicely, and that's looking a little bit better. If we have a look at the preview again quickly, here we can see below that image there's just a kind of a footer area with a lot of text there. So all we're going to do is duplicate this area and then we'll be done for this video. So what they've got is a logo, then just a little bit of footer text. So we'll go to Rapid Weaver. We'll close up this wrapper stack. We'll add another wrapper. We'll set the content color to be white. And then what we needed was some text and an image. So we'll set the image alignment to be center. And what we're going to add here is the RealMax software logo. So we go to the general folder and then this green RM logo. Drop that in there. And we will just set the width to be 50 by 50. Then we'll set the alignment of this text to be center, and we'll do some custom sizing of 14 pixels. We're also going to set the custom color scheme, and we're going to have a light gray color here. Okay, if we go back to preview, we're now seeing that that's looking pretty good. We want a bit of padding here and we need to center align this image. So we'll go and have a look at doing that now. Okay, so the reason this image isn't centered is because I forgot to add the one column stack inside of the wrapper. So sorry about that, that's my mistake twice. When you add a wrapper, you need to make sure that you add the column stack inside. And you obviously have choices here of 1, 2, 3 or 4 columns. So I've just forgotten to do that twice. So sorry about that. We'll just need to drop those inside of there. If we go back to preview and refresh, you'll see that the logo is then center aligned. What we do need to do is add that padding though. So back to Rapid Weaver, and we can add some custom spacing on the top of 40 pixels and 40 on the bottom. Then on the wrapper, we'll add padding left and right to be 40 and 40. Then we'll go back to preview, and I think that's looking pretty good. Now the only thing I think we can improve upon is perhaps this primary button color, and also obviously the color of this background isn't quite matching the image here. So again, we could have a play around with that and make sure that that matches nicely. Also, the bottom of this image shouldn't have any margin on, so that it doesn't add that spacing below there. So let's have a look at updating a couple of those bits. So back to RapidWeaver again, and on the style stack we're going to update the primary color here. So if we have a look at the preview, the color for the button here is this kind of blue color, so we'll match something similar. We will choose this blue here, and if we go back to preview, that's looking a little bit nicer. And so finally, let's just update this image. So we'll go back to the wrapper stack here, and it's the one above. Nope, it's the one below, this one here. We will remove the margin from there, and again what we want to do is match that background color. So let's see if we can do that, or if we can make it look a little bit nicer. Select that color there, go back and refresh, and I'm not sure that that updated, so we'll try it again. Choose that color there, refresh, and that's about as close as I'm going to get it for now. As I say, you can have a play around and make sure that your background color matches your image. Okay, so that will do it for this video. We went a little bit quicker through here because we've used a lot of the techniques already in this course. I just wanted to show you another type of email, something that was a little bit more advanced with the different colored sections and more complex layouts like the 4 columns that you see here. Okay, in the next video we will build our final email, which is going to be an order confirmation or receipt email. So I'll see you there.